True to my suspicion, my stuff was transferred here in less than 2 days. I was right. My parents really didn't want me there. John's mansion was my new home, whether I liked it or not. It's absolutely crazy how my life upended in a matter of 24 hours. I was no longer the carefree, independent YN that took no one's crap. It felt like the universe was waiting for this moment to flip me off and scream, "Take that, you bitch!" And Jungkook, well, he wasn't coping well either. His drunken escapades continued, and for a week straight, we'd only see each other at night when he would return absolutely wasted. Sometimes he would yell at me for ruining his life, sometimes he would cry on my shoulders, and sometimes he would just be silent. Dead silent. One night when he returned, he was acting very unusually. YN, my sweet little wife. He staggered into my room when I was reading a book I found in the mansion's library. I knew he was wrong, so I quickly placed my book down and held him. "You're the sweetest, aren't you? Come sit here and don't move," I warned, and he shook his head. I liked how cute he looked sometimes while drunk. I helped him sit on the bed and gave him a glass of water. When our fingers touched, I felt the heat. Frowning, I held his hands, and I was right. He was burning with fever. "Why are you so hot?" "Because I'm handsome. I have muscles, see?" He flexed his bicep, or at least tried to. I could not help but roll my eyes. I meant hot as in "you've got a fever," but his drunken brain thought I was giving him a compliment. Not that he wasn't hot, but still that wasn't the point. "I also have 6 packs. Do you want to see them?" "No thank you, just stay here. I'm going to bring you some pills." I struggled to make him sit, while he kept insisting on showing his abs. "Jungkook, I really don't want to see your abs right now. You're sick? Just let me take care of you." I tried to leave, but he tugged on my arms and pulled me back. When I looked at him, I could see the hurt swimming in his eyes. "You don't like me." Tears pooled in his eyes. I could see he was scared. "He also going to leave me." My heart shattered for him. He wasn't seeing me. He was seeing Sophia, my sister, in me. Hey. I cupped his feverish face and wiped the few tears that left his eyes. "I'm going nowhere. I'm not Sophia." I did not see the hug coming though. He pulled me closer as he lashed his face on my stomach. It caught me by surprise. I let my tense hands wrap around him and return. After a while, I pulled away a bit awkwardly, but he continued to smile. "Stay here, alright? I'll get you some pills," I whispered, and he nodded at me like a lost child. So I left to fetch the pills. While I returned, he was sprawled all over my bed, already sleeping. What a dork. I shook my head and began to take off his shoes and moved his heavy body to one side of the bed. I cannot let him sleep with a fever though. I asked JUNKOOK to get me some washcloth and cold water. I did not want to wake him, so I figured using the cloth to lower his temperature was the next best thing. JUNKOOK returned with the supplies within minutes, and I began my work. When I woke up, I almost couldn't move. My neck was stiff from being in the same position for so long. The reason? My dear husband Jungkook, who was wrapped around me like I'd leave him any minute otherwise. I tried to remove his hand off me, but he would frown and grumble something in his sleep and hold me even tighter. But the problem was, I had to pee, and him holding my stomach that hard wasn't helping me. "Jungkook, can you just get your hands off me? I really have to use the bathroom." I winced, and he was frowning again. "Sophia," he mumbled groggily, and I looked at him with sad eyes. He was probably dreaming of her again. I ruffled his hair. "Yes, I'm here. Can you just let me go? I have to use the bathroom." I whispered, and he was still wearing the same frown. "Will you come back?" He mumbled again, and I continued to ruffle his hair. "Yes, I promise." He loosened his arms around, and I took a huge breath. I rushed to the bathroom in record time. When I came back, Jungkook was wide awake, sitting on my bed with his hair all messed up, confusion written all over his face. "How did I end up here?" He frowned. "Did we have—" "No, we did not, thankfully." I suddenly felt the need to interrupt and watch him snort. "Ouch," he said sarcastically with an eye roll as I watched him get off my bed. "Where are you going?" I crossed my arms on my chest as he continued to look for his slippers. "Away from here." He did not look at me and search around for his slippers. I rolled my eyes and grabbed his hand and forced him to sit on my bed again. Wine, what the hell? Shut up, I said casually, smoothing his wild hair and checking his forehead for fever. Yup, still warm. What are you even doing? He said awkwardly. Listen, my dear husband, after a week of dealing with your stumbling home drunk every single night, the awkwardness is long gone. You can shy away all you want, but now you're my husband, and I have to take care of you, especially when you're sick and acting like a big man-child. Well, thanks for your concern, Mrs. John, but I don't need anyone to take care of me. I'm fine. He brushed off my hand and stood up again, clearly not interested in sticking around for this conversation. He did not even glance back as he made his way towards the door. Wow, what a jerk. Stop. I yelled after him, and he looked back at me with the same annoyance written all over his face. What do you think, John Jungkook? That you're the only one who's suffering? Ever thought about me? What I feel? No, right? Because you are a selfish bastard. I don't see where you're getting at with this. What I'm trying to tell you here is that you're not the only one who was forced to marry against her will. Especially to a person that didn't even know, let alone love. So I thought, right, you had a boyfriend. Why did you keep it from me? I thought it would give you an excuse to send me away to my parents. I did not want to go there. They sold me off like a cow for exchange. I really lost all my respect for them. You could have stayed with your boyfriend if it made you feel so much better. He spat out, the frustration in his voice rising. If only he was attending my calls. I looked away, suddenly feeling the sting of rejection. Being abandoned, but not only my family but a boyfriend of 3 years made me feel so worthless. We can talk about it if you want. I've been told I'm a good listener. His voice softened, and for the first time in nearly 10 days, it felt genuine. Oh really? I'm glad there's actually something decent about you. I rolled my eyes, obviously joking, but to my surprise, Jungkook giggled. Touché. A small smile crept on into his face as he stepped closer. So? Who is he? Ryan. His name is Ryan. He was the only boy I loved all my life. I tried to control my tears when everything that I've been trying to suppress the whole week came back in full force. My tears blurred my eyesight. Keeping it hidden was doing the job, but letting it all out in front of a man I didn't want to was absolutely ghastly. I did not want to cry in front of Jungkook. I didn't want to see him this weak, this broken. Until now, I was driving happiness out of the fact that unlike Jungkook, I wasn't affected much by the wedding. But I wasn't as strong as I thought I was. I was not emotionally invincible. I thought bottling the pain would help it go away. Oh, how wrong I was. Because I was witnessing it resurfacing even stronger. The walls I built crumbled and my heart broke all over again. At that moment, I felt Jungkook's hands around me as he pulled me closer to hug. We were even now. Two broken souls, finding comfort in each other. Take it all out. I'm here to listen. He whispered into my ears as I cried on his chest. I don't know, I sobbed. Easy there, breathe in, breathe out, come on. He comforted me and it worked like charms. I tried to follow his breathing and my sobs started to die down. Now tell me, where is he? Why didn't he contact you? I don't know where he is. I tried his number but he wouldn't pick up. I don't know if he's okay or not. I sobbed. Do you think your family has to do something with it? Like, and make him disappear so you can stick to this wedding? He caressed my back. I don't know. All I know is that he was supposed to bring me flowers on our wedding. Okay, and when did you last talk with him? The night before the wedding. Sophia also disappeared on the same night. No. I shook my head rapidly, refusing to entertain the horrible thought that was beginning to form. Ryan would never do that to me. He can't cheat on me with my sister. He loves me. He loves her so much. I'm sure he does. He said carefully, but he knew something was wrong. Sophia disappears and Ryan doesn't pick up calls since. How about we go to his place and see for ourselves? We? No. You're staying here. You're sick. You need to rest. I'll go alone. Ryan, trust me, I'm fine. He dragged the vowels, trying to convince me, but I couldn't let him travel like this. He needed to rest, period. Jungkook, I said his name with a stern voice, and he looked at me shocked. You're staying home. I'll go alone. Wow. Not calling me Oppa anymore, huh? Jungkook Oppa? He joked and then tried to imitate me. I stood with an unimpressed face, my nose flaring and my lips in a thin line, but he continued with his parody. "Jungkook oppa, are you staying for dinner? Jungkook oppa, stop it, okay?" I playfully smacked him on his chest. "I don't talk like that." "Ouch. You're hitting a sick man? That's very cruel, Ryan," he said like an old school teacher, his eyes closed with an obviously fake frown, and I suppressed a laugh. He smiled when he saw me biting back a laugh. When eyes met, we smiled once again. I noticed his teeth poking out when he smiled. Oh, he had a bunny smile. That was very cute. He was very cute. A cute face and a muscular body. What a package. Snap out of it, Ryan. You love Ryan, not Jungkook. He might be your husband for now, but this thing between us was not meant to last forever. Something shifted within me, and I wore the same indifferent expression again. "Stay here, alright? I'll leave you some medicine. Please take them and rest." I forced a smile, and he shook his head and got into my bed again. "Ryan, remember you're free. If you go out there and decide to stay with him, I won't mind. I was meant to end up alone anyway, so..." Those last words hit me like a punch to the gut. Meant to end up alone? I couldn't shake the sadness in his voice, the resignation in his eyes. How broken did someone have to be to believe that they were destined to never be loved? If anyone deserved love, it was Jungkook. That man had a heart of gold. I did not know what to say, so I just turned on my heels and left. The ride to Ryan's place was barely 20 minutes. He lived in a small studio apartment in the suburbs. I never judged him for not having a lot of money to afford a bigger apartment. In fact, I did not even check his new place when he moved there just a month ago. The truth was, I loved him for the person he was, funny, bold, and hardworking. "Stop right there," I pointed out to the street, and Jisuk pulled the car over. "I'll be back in a while. You can go park. I'll just get a taxi back home." "I'm sorry, Mrs. John. Young master strictly advised me to stay here until we return." "I know where your obedience lies." I rolled my eyes and I hopped out of the car. "And hey, Jisoo." "Yes, Mrs. John?" He rolled the windows down again. "Just call me Wine, alright?" "That's all?" he said confused, and I smiled at him. "You know what? Give me your number, and let's go and get yourself a cup of coffee. I'll call you when I'm done here." "You can have my number, but I don't think I'm allowed to move away from you. I have to report your whereabouts to young master every 5 minutes just to ensure your safety." "This is crazy." I threw my hands in exasperation. "Whatever, just give me your number." I quickly had his number and got into the apartment building. Ryan lived on the 5th floor. The elevator was of course not working, so I had to take the stairs. After sending my poor lungs into an overdrive, I finally arrived at the 5th floor, sweating like a pig. I did not know how Ryan managed to do this, but this was one hell of a work. The maximum I moved every day would be from my room to the nearest kitchen to make myself a bowl of ramen. I searched for his apartment at the end of the hallway. Just as I got closer, the door next to it opened and out came a woman nearly in her 60s. "Hello, honey, are you looking for someone?" She smiled, and I returned it with an equal fervor. She seemed like a nice lady. She was bending to pick up 2 bags of which I assume were groceries from outside her door and was probably meaning to carry them inside. "Yeah, I was wondering which of these is Ryan's apartment. Ryan Lee." "Oh yeah, Ryan. That's his apartment. Are you..." She straightened and pointed out at a door next to her apartment. "I'm his friend." I forced a smile and she gave me a look like she's heard that line 1,000 times. "Yeah, he seems to have a lot of friends coming over lately. That boy didn't let us sleep all night with those nasty sounds coming from his apartment. You know, this shared wall leaves very little to imagination." My color immediately paled as I heard her. My heart was beating unusually fast. "I'm sorry, I should have left out those details." "It's okay." "It wasn't okay." I lied. Who the hell was he having over? What was happening behind those doors? My mind flooded with questions I didn't want to ask. "But honey, I'm still confused. Why are you here?" "To see him, of course." "To see him? Didn't he tell you that he moved out?" I could feel the blood drain from my face, cold sweat mixing with the heat already clinging to my skin from the long climb. It felt like the universe was playing some sick joke on me. This can't be. Oh, no, no. You're joking, right? I barely managed to get the words out. My hands were shaking, and I clasped them together, trying so hard to make the trembling stop. Honey, I've got no time and energy to joke. She shrugged and picked the bags. Now, if you want to come inside for a coffee, you're most welcome. No, thanks, I'll just leave. The words were dying on my tongue. The room spun around me as I tried to gain balance. God, what was happening to me? Honey, you okay? She said, concerned. I shook my head in a weak yes and walked to the staircase in utmost difficulty. He left you. He left you. He lied. He lied. The words kept ringing in my head as I climbed down the stairs. The boy did not let us sleep all night with his nasty sound coming from his apartment. I knew what the lady was hinting at, but why was it so hard to accept? But then it hit me. I'd been cheated on, lied to, left behind like I did not matter, not once, but twice. The realization knocked the wind out of me. Before I knew it, I was sitting on the stairs, my face buried in my hand as sobs racked my body. The tears came fast, uncontrollable, and there was nothing I could do to stop them. My heart felt like it was breaking all over again. Red-rimmed eyes and an obviously messed-up appearance, I dragged my body to a waiting Jisuk. He was quick to notice my disheveled appearance and rushed to help me. Ryan, you okay? What happened? He asked as he held me gently. I looked at him with a broken expression. Take me home, Jisuk. And this was all I could say. Jungkook was by my side the moment I stepped in the mansion. My God, what happened, Ryan? I threw myself at him and hugged him like there was no tomorrow. He left me. I sobbed into his chest and watched him tense immediately, but he still kept rubbing on my back. There, he whispered, and I cried my eyes out. He abandoned me. He lied. We're going to find him, okay? We're going to make him answer for his actions. He brought goals over to his place, and it's alright, you don't have to say it. I pulled away and looked him into his eyes. We're even now, aren't we? Sophia left you without a word. Ryan left me. Look, it's pointless crying over the spilled milk, right? I know it might be excruciating to get over the pain, but once the fog clears, you feel better. And to quote your own words, you find someone better. I just want to sleep and never wake up. I hugged him again, and this time much soberly. He hugged back and pinned his head over mine. I was still moping over the heartbreak when Jungkook barged into my room at 11 midnight, like it was the most normal thing to do. Can you stop with these random barges? I'm sick of. I was about to protest, but what he said next made my heart stop. We found her. She's staying in a dingy motel somewhere on the highway. I'm going to get her before she escapes. He said breathlessly, and I don't know what came over me when I suddenly decided to join him. I'm coming along. I quickly threw a jacket and slipped into my shoes. You sure? You don't have to. She's my sister. I deserve to know why she turned on us like this. Alright, but we're taking my car, and heads up, I don't drive slow. I just went through a soul-crushing breakup a few hours ago. Your driving can't possibly be worse than that. So let's go. Jungkook flashed a brave smile before we bolted out of the mansion, straight into his sleek BMW. He hit the gas and we were on the highway in record time. I wasn't joking about the speed. He smirked as the car rocketed forward, 220 km per hour. The force slammed me back into the seat, my hands gripping it like my life depended on it. In just 12 minutes, we were there. The run-down motel where my sister was supposedly hiding. Jungkook glanced at me and I nodded. Neither of us really needed to say anything. We were both ready, or at least as ready as you can be for something like this. We walked in and found the room at the far end of a grimy hallway. Jungkook paused for a moment and whispered, "You ready?" He took my hand and my pulse spiked. I nodded. My heart was already thundering in my chest. He twisted the knob and we stepped inside. What we saw made the floor drop out from beneath me, a semi-naked Sophia, tangled up with a very familiar guy in a way that left no room for doubt. Sophia? Ryan? The room spun. Everything I thought I knew shattered right in front of me.